Okay. How we going, everybody? I'm going to lose my voice, so I thought I'd pop in and do one of these before that happens, because that's going to suck. But it's coming. Is this actually working? Let's find out. Great. Okay, we're in. Yeah, I'll give you a couple of moments to jump on and have a look. So, Anne's a fresh face. Let's tell these new people about what's going on. Essentially, we're going to be having a look through some songs, which is what normally happens here. Just whatever I can get my hands on, really. There's been Queen. There's been Michael Jackson. There has been... Who else did we do? Bruno Mars, a few other people. I've got heaps of cool stuff coming up. Heaps more Michael Jackson. Got some Christina Aguilera. Got some Earth, Wind & Fire. There's a lot of really, really great stuff to listen to. I'll just go back and read a little list for you here of which other artists I have. I've got some Prince stuff that I'm very excited to check out, and I'm going to leave it to check out with you. I don't want to look at any of it until then. I might arrange it into the way that I like to look at it first. I've got some Madonna, more Michael Jackson, more Michael Jackson, more Michael Jackson, more Michael Jackson, Mariah Carey, Metallica. I've got lots of really different interesting artists to listen to and multi-track versions of their stuff. But today, before we even start, it is a school night, but there will be a beer had. Tonight's beer is from Dainton. It's called Major Tom New World IPA. Now you may notice it's got bugger all alcohol in it. It's a very 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 light beer, but it's an IPA style. And let's see what it's like. This is going to go along really nicely with tonight's very light song. Okay. We've got a couple coming in now, so we might as well check out the mix. I have arranged this track. Look at this. I've even got a nice little bit of just above my head there. Put a single sleeve up in the name of the song. And I've gone through and arranged this track and all of its instruments out to how I like them. I normally like a bit of... let's get some colour on that, huh? I like kicks, all my drums together and percussion together. Bass could probably move down. Look, I like drums, then bass, and then normally guitars or whatever else. So in this case, it's strings and orchestral. And then we have a little bit of the additional stuff like piano, and there's a shitload of vocal tracks. Interestingly enough, these are the whole length of the song. These particular vocal tracks here from Jennifer Lopez. They all start at 0, but these ones just end halfway through the middle because she doesn't sing anything else after that. And then there's a shitload of Ja Rule over the back of it. But yeah, look, let's check it out. Here's the individual kick. You can hear it's got a bit of something in it, which means it's probably taken from a loop. And that snare. I'll put that scratch in to come up too. I'll get rid of the hat. Get rid of this scratch. Oh, that was like a real deep scratch in the headphones too. And there's your hats. I'm going to go to this 808. I've got something to say about that in a minute, so... Okay. Rattle hat. That was cool. And this noise thing that's about to come up. Okay, interesting. It's kind of like a weird sizzle or something. Right. I'll put the 808 in, but I want to talk about that in a sec. I've taken it away, and I'll add it back in. Now, something that I want to say about this 808 thing is it really gives me the shits when people just call it 808. Don't know if you can hear that on your phone or whatever, but that's real deep. It's this really quite deep sound. When people talk about 808, let's go to the rant window. When people talk about 808, they're normally referring to some kind of percussion thing happening there, right? But what they're actually referring to is the Roland TR-808, which was the... Yeah, I'm just getting confused from the Behringer versions. The TR-808, which was an electronic drum machine that was built for guitar players to practice to, but it didn't get used like that. They were cheap. Everyone hated them. They stopped making them. They didn't make too many of them. And then these guys started to find them and find out that they were really good for, like, you know, hip-hop sort of stuff. So people use this term 808, which could be one of 16 different types of drums. I've got a clone of one here. Let me grab that for a second. I'll put these drums back on for you, and I'll go and grab that so you can have a quick look. I'll back to the window. Sorry, guys. All right. All right, back to the rant window. So this, if you can see, is a modern clone of the it's a Behringer version of the TR-808 from Roland. It's called the RD-808, and as you can see, all of these particular things across here are a different type of percussion instrument, and some of them have a switch between two different ones on the same channel. Now, mine's very dusty, but that is what an 808 technically is. But in the hip-hop scene, people just go, yeah, man, 808s, man, I love 808s. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Which sound? Are you talking about the toms? Are you talking about the clap? Are you talking about the fucking maracas? What are you talking about? Tell me! Because people use it as a blanket term, but it is not a blanket term. It is an entire drum machine. It's like saying, I love guitar players. Well, no one else does, and if you do, which one? Nice bass. I like this because it's real. It's real. I'm real. It's real. It's real bass. Let's individually listen to that bass. If you're listening to the stream, please do say hello. Hey, Jim. Hey, Kerry. Hey, Gary. Yeah. Okay, so this is really interesting. Some real bass. Let's have a look at the frequencies that that's putting out. Bit of low end here, but not a lot of top. I'm interested that that's not sort of... No, it wouldn't be scooped as hip-hop, but we've got... You could really fatten that up, couldn't you? You could really make that nice and beefy. I have... Look, I'll give you the hot tip here. I have done a little bit of work on the vocals, because the vocals were just completely overpowering. This was basically unmixed when I got it, so I did a little bit of work beforehand. You may recognise these flutes, and this is kind of the call of the song. I'm going to pan those. They definitely need to be panned on. I reckon those strings will be too. Cause I'm real the way you talk. I can't wait to listen to Jay-Z. I mean, Jay-Z, Ja Rule. Featuring Jay-Z, Lopez and Ja Rule, you tool. A bit of that strings. What's this synth happening here? Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Okay, we're pumping through this one really quick, which is good. I love Wurlitzer. Let's listen to that. Hi, my name is what? My name is who? Slim Shady. That's really cool, that Wurlitzer sound. So this is all the instrumentation without the vocals and without the drums. All right. Start chucking some of that percussion back in. Starting to recognise the song now. Now this is where we might get copyright strike, so I'll pull a bit of that back out. Very interesting, very cool. So we can hear there's a little bit of stuff going on there. The Piz strings and the regular strings in the synth are obviously hard software. The flute, I mean, look, that could be real. The song's called Unreal. The Wurlitzer, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me for them to use a real Wurlitzer. Flute, let's hear that again. It's keyboard. Too tight, too clean. That bass is real. 'Cause I'm bass. Alright, that's definitely real. Flip over to Rant Cam for a sec, because this is the bit, if you're just checking this out, I mean, I know we haven't been on for very long, but this is the part where I can't play too much in sequence with each other because it gets they're blocked by the companies who own these. However, they've been really, really good over the last, I think I've done 6 now, at releasing the copyright claims quite fast. So I really appreciate that they're doing that and they're helping me out. They know that I'm not making any money out of their work, and I'm not using their work and trying to pass it off as my own. I'm just simply deconstructing them for my own education and yours, and the benefit of seeing how these things were done. I mean, this song made millions of dollars. Like, whether you like it or not, it's successful, and it's interesting to see how they made these things. I'm always very curious to hear famous vocal lines. Now, there's a couple of people who are listening that might not like what they're about to hear. So if you are sensitive to sort of a little bit of language, then I'd tune out now. But here, this is not me. This is Ja Rule speaking. There is a little bit of colourful language used and some racial language used by the artists here to tell their story. Not my choice, not something I believe in, but I'll let you know, just so if you want to make that decision to opt out now, then you can. But let's listen through that for its artistic expression, for its musicality, and enjoy the dulcet tones of Mr. Ja Rule.
What's my motherfucking name?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear that one more time because I've always wanted to hear that by itself. I'm so happy that I finally have the opportunity to hear this.
What's my motherfucking name?
He's double-tracked it too. How good.
What's my motherfucking name?
R-U-L-E. Okay, let's not give too much away. Let's just focus on Ja Rule for the moment. There's lots of Ja Rule in here.
Blowing back on this Mary Jane, I'm analyzing the game. And chose me to bring pain.
I'll just go
to pussy
full
niggas
Ja.
and pussy hoes, they one and the same.
Okay, like I did say, there is some colourful language here from Mr. Rule, but I'm gonna let him play out and just show what goes on. And then I want to show you something else that I don't get. Apparently Ashanti was on this track. I didn't know that. Let's just continue.
Since you told me there's only room for 2, I've been making less room for you. Now only God can hold me. Hug me, love me, judge me. The only man that hovers above me, holla.
Okay. Did Ja Rule just do a fart in the studio? Nah, he was just like... Oh, and also... He wanted to know his name again. He was like, I just forgot. I got one question for you guys. What's that, Ja Rule?
What's my motherfucking name?
He forgot again. All right, there's that. We'll go from there. There's nothing much else to hear from that point from Mr. Ja Rule. So why don't we go... Oh, yeah, there's some more stuff coming up. Just go back to... Here's a triple take that I've taken the time to pan. I've also added a little bit, you might be able to see, a bit of EQ just to take the low end out and just dipped a bit of the mids and given him some what's that called, some crispiality. Anybody watching will guarantee will know more about this than I do, but what's the crispiality called? Sibilance. The crispiality. Crisp. So I've done that. I've just compressed it with some preset that says studio vocal because I figure, hey, it's studio vocal, and I don't care. And then a bit of reverb because why not?
I'd have been alone. Yeah, yeah. Sick of arguing on the phone. Yeah, yeah. While you're telling all your friends. Yeah, yeah. That your nigga don't understand my love.
I'm real.
The way you walk. The way
that was still quite loud, wasn't it?
The way you talk.
I think I need to go and duck those back.
The way you stare. The way.
Because there's 3 of them. They're ganging up on each other, so they're loud.
I get tired of being alone. Yeah, yeah. Sick of arguing on the phone. Yeah, yeah. While you're telling all your friends. Yeah, yeah. That your nigga don't understand
my love. Anybody who was around in 2001 will remember having a good time to this. I feel good when I listen to stuff like this and remember just not hating it, because there was a lot of stuff to hate. There never is, of course, there never is. But there was a lot of stuff out at the time that just really shut me up the wall. But this was not one of them for some reason. I don't know why. Like there was every reason for the odds against it for me to not like it, but I just didn't hate it. So I'm proud of myself for not hating something that realistically was categorically easily hateable. It was on the charts, it was pop, and it wasn't fucking cool or whatever, but it was cool. I liked it.
Breathe again, baby, now I can breathe again. I get tired of being alone.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, who's that?
Arguing on the phone.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is that a...
Telling all your friends.
Yeah, yeah.
That your nigga don't understand.
My love. Is that J-Lo sucking in on bloody Ja Rule's vocal track there? We got a little bit of a surprise. That's sneaky. Oh, there's something else going on up here too. What's this?
Bring it back, bro.
Oh, I love that. I love it when we get to hear those, guys. These are the things that I live for. What's this? There's a couple up here too. This is just Ja Rule having a good time. Clearing your throat and leaving it in the track. Hey, how about just clearing your throat, guys, and leaving it in the final mix? And then roll it back, boys. Damn.
Bring it back, bro.
Okay, and there's another one up here I can see. This is really small. Just fumbling with the door.
What's my motherfucking name? R-U-L-E.
He probably just walked into the studio and did an overdub. And then what's this bit?
Above me, holla.
Oh, that's the... Yeah, cool. We got that bit. Okay, I got someone in here who doesn't know what the song is. Aaron must have been living under a rock. I had no idea what the song is. I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you in a minute what the song is. But first I want to go through, before we get to Jennifer Lopez's fantastic lead vocal, we want to have a listen to this Ashanti hook ad-libs. I didn't know Ashanti was on the track. I've already panned them because, as you can see there... Oh, I can't point. You can't see what I'm pointing at. As you can see here, there is a lot of double-ups of this stuff, so I just figured I would imagine it'd be left and right. A lot of the times when you get these multi-track files, there's stems disguised as multi-tracks. Stems meaning stereo mixes, guys. So I've just panned them already, just hard left, hard right, to see what's going on. But apparently Ashanti's on this track. They're called Ashanti hook ad-libs. I don't know. Let's find out.
It's like they're all the same.
Sure it's not J-Lo? Because it's J-Lo's song. Why would it not be?
It's now my hunger pain. Who's gonna comfort me? Their insecurity.
Ashanti did have a high-pitched voice, but that could be J-Lo.
I'm real. I'm real. I'm real. I'm real.
And I can't go on without you. All right, now what's this last bit? I don't think this is Ashanti then. I think it's Ja Rule overtaking this track, but let's have a listen.
'Cause I'm real.
Oh, that's J-Lo.
The way you walk,
Or
the way
possibly
you
Ashanti,
move, the
apparently.
way you
'Cause
talk,
I'm real.
the way you stare, the way you look, your style, your
'Cause
hair.
I'm real.
The way you smile, the way you smell, it drives me
'Cause
wild.
I'm real.
And I can't go on without you.
All right. Rachel in comments raises a good point here. Fairly sure Ja Rule didn't do anything without Ashanti at that time. Well, look, that's probably why they've put two tracks there with Ashanti's name on them. Do you know? Because she's there and she's hanging out with these people and she's a successful artist at this time. I mean, is she yet? I don't know. It's 2001. Let's find out. Time travel is real, and I've figured out that it's real. If you want to know how, I'll tell you later. Yeah, okay. It wasn't very good, was it? So, yeah, of course there's a couple of tracks there with Ashanti's name on them, and I mean, they made it all the way to me, you know. How many years later?
'Cause I'm real.
The way you walk, the way you move, the way you
'Cause
talk,
I'm real.
the way you stare, the way you look, your style, your
'Cause
hair.
I'm real.
The way you smile, the way you smell, it drives me
'Cause
wild.
I'm real.
And I can't go on without you.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Well, what do we all come here for? For Jennifer Lopez. If you guys haven't seen the movie Selena, starring J-Lo, go and have a look at that. That's about the actual pop star called Selena, who tragically met her end by a lady who worked for her who was a super fan, who just, when Selena realized that this person was taking advantage of her and trying to control her, she tried to break up with her essentially and tried to move her on and, say, I'm sorry, but it's not going to work or whatever. And she goes, oh, that's cool. Just come down to this seedy hotel and I will shoot you in the chest and kill you. Sorry for the spoilers there. But yeah, Jennifer Lopez is in this movie and she's fantastic in it. Yeah, really great film. And also get into some Selena, Selena's great. Okay, J-Lo's lead vocals. And after this fantastic opener.
What's my motherfucking name?
Are you Ellie?
Now, I've added a little bit of reverb because it was very dry.
And the game done chose me.
Actually, I'm doing you a disservice here by showing you what it was like. By not showing you what it was like before that. I really should. Let's just get rid of that, and I'll just remember. Let's go to my other mix window here. And what are we at? -8.8. Not yet. -8.2. This is what it was like when I got it.
Are you Ellie?
Dry.
And the game done chose me. Ever since you told me.
You can hear it in the background. And it gates out. So it's
Now only God can hold me.
a bit of her headphones.
I met so many men and it's like they're
Let's
all
add that
the
EQ back.
same. My appetite for love.
And I'll show you why I did that.
Is now my hunger pain. And when
Actually,
I'm
you can't see it on this
feeling
track.
sexy, who's gonna
I'll get to
comfort
that
me?
in the compressor.
My only problem is their insecurity. Yeah, yeah.
And obviously a bit loud, so bring it back.
Yeah, yeah.
But here's the reverb.
Yeah, yeah.
Just wet it up a little bit.
My love.
And then I'll bring it back down to, what did I have it at, 8.2? Yeah, look, that's fine. So the reason I did that to that track, actually, it's because I EQ'd the other track first. But let's have a listen to...
My love. 'Cause I'm real.
I want to see this.
'Cause I'm real.
Oh, I took it off, so it's not going to show.
'Cause I'm real.
She had...
'Cause I'm
It had a lot of bottom end in there that I
and
saw hadn't been filtered out, and it sounded really woofy. Like, that's unnecessary. The stuff that's happening down there isn't really necessary energy that's going to be used. So I removed it, just filtered it out. I mean, it's by 12 dB. It's a fair chunk taken out, but
as good as it gets.
I feel
the
like
worst time and the best time.
adding those things didn't take anything away, especially because this was a 100% dry mix. So what you're getting here is very, very basic, crude mixing, just to kind of make sure that when I do put it all together, that it doesn't actually sound like hot the garbage, as one may say. Anything else going on in these comments before I start moving on? Because I feel like this may be the time to pump up the last half of the track.
Gratefully, but not knowing that they ain't making
I'll put all the
a break
vocals
me.
in. That's what I think
My
should
life,
be
I
done.
live it to the limit and I love it. Now I can breathe again, baby. Now I can breathe again. Now people screaming, what's the deal with you and so? I tell them,
Oh, did I just hear a discrepancy in their two takes?
you and so.
Didio? Who's Didio?
With you and so.
Okay, let's just have a listen to what. So obviously J-Lo says so and so. What does Ja Rule say?
Diddy-o,
Didio. Oh,
you and Diddy-o.
someone tell me, who was with the P Diddy Puff Diddy Puff at the time? 2001. Who was with Sean Puffy Puff Daddy P Diddy Papa Diddy Combs at that point in time? Because I mean, that Puff Daddy, he was the man. Puff Daddy was the business. Do you remember that time he pinched Jimmy Page? and he did Cashmere for Godzilla. That was at the same time. It's in my ears, it's in my nose, it's in my smeller. I can't remember what he says. Ever and a day that's never. Close your eyes, no surprise, come with me.
The deal with you is so. I tell them niggas mind their biz, but they don't hear me though.
Like I said, they do use a bit of colourful language in this one, guys, so, you know, I didn't write it.
Cause I live my life to the limit and I love it. Now I can breathe again, baby, now I can breathe again. Yeah, yeah.
Open up those other tracks.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
That your nigga don't understand my love.
Cause I'm real.
That's thickness. So you can hear the tracks are a little.
Cause I'm real.
Bring that back down to, I think.
I can breathe again.
Tired of being alone.
Yeah, because that's quite loud. So I'll bring that down.
Arguing on the phone.
Yeah, yeah. Man, see, I'm losing my voice hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Nigga don't understand my love.
Cause I'm real.
The way you walk, the way you move, the way you
Cause
talk,
I'm real.
the way you stare, the way you look, your style, your
Cause I'm
the
real.
way you smile, the way
Let's push that copyright claim out.
Cause I'm real. And I can't go on without you.
Okay.
Cause I'm real.
Now, that all that stuff at the end probably is in the original track, but I've never listened to it long enough. Yeah, I've been copyright struck, guys, because all the viewers are gone. I've never listened to the song long enough to be able to tell you if that's in the track or not. But seeing as we have pushed it that far, I will... Let's unmute everything. We can go back to the start and have a listen to these things together and see what they are. So thanks for sticking around. I won't keep you much longer than this, but let's check it out. Yeah. Very cool. See, it only takes a couple of seconds to get a copyright claim. All right. I want to go back up to that. What's my motherfucking name?
What's my motherfucking name?
Are you Ellie?
So this is my mix of
Mary
this,
Jane, I'm
of these
analyzing
files.
the game.
And the game done chose me.
To bring pain to pussy niggas and pussy hoes that one and the same.
So panning's obviously all up the shit for me. They would have done a bit of automation on this, no doubt. 2001, they were probably using like Control 24 consoles or something like that. If they were out at the time, C24, Digitized Pro Tools things. Timbaland and Pharrell were just coming through with some really cool stuff as well. Timbaland ended up making his own little computer machine that does the music stuff. The Britney Spears thing was happening. The Backstreet Boys were on fire. NSYNC was happening. The pop world was going crazy with this kind of gear. It happened, man. Like, you can't deny it. It's part of history. We're living it now. 22 years later.
Security.
Tired of being alone.
Yeah, yeah,
Arguing on the phone.
yeah, yeah.
Telling all your friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Nigga don't understand
My love. Now, one thing. Now, if you're still with me, right, bear with me, and I'll tell you why. One of the funniest things in the world is to take recordings that exist that are good or whatever and auto-tune the singer on it. So J-Lo's about to get it. J-Lo's about to get some unwarranted auto-tune. It's also a great way to see that she's a really good singer, obviously, and we're going to put her to the test here by seeing what notes she's pulling out.
So many men, and it's like they're all the same. My
Pretty tight.
appetite for loving is now my hunger pain. And
She's good, man. Like, she's real. This auto-tune ain't real, but like,
when I'm feeling
she don't sound
sexy,
too robotic.
Who's gonna comfort me? My
Well, that was a
only
bit shonky, but then again, like, she's singing it and she's doing a real job, but she's having a good time. So,
Who's gonna comfort me?
see, that's fine. Me, it doesn't need to be perfecto.
My only problem is their insecurity.
She's good. She's good. Let's check out Mr. Rule, Mr. Jason Rule. Or what's his name? What's Ja Rule's name? Anybody, if you know, send me a message because I'm not going to be able to see comments for the moment. But let's check out Ja Rule's vocals. Let's try to choose a center-facing one. So this one is not it. Why is that not it? Ja Hook 2. That should be center. Let's centralize that. And then we can... Oh, give me that.
The way you talk.
Okay.
The way you stare, the way you look, your style, your hair. The way you smile, the way you smell, it drives me wild.
Okay, now look, Ja Rule's doing a different type of vocal here. He's talking, essentially. He's being a bit thug. He's not putting too much musicality into it. He's just saying in the general idea of the key of the track and just talking.
The way you walk, the way you move.
He's only doing 2 notes.
Talk. The way you stare, the way you look, your style, your hair.
He's not doing anything. One change.
The way you smile, the way you smell, it drives me wild.
Yeah.
And I can't go on without you.
So it's not horrible. I mean, it's got pizzazz and charm, which is why it's in the track. One of the reasons why Ja Rule, I suppose, was successful. He got that role in those Fast and Furious movies, didn't he? Jeffrey Atkins, that's Ja Rule's name. Jeffrey Atkins. Thanks, Rachel Williams with that hot tip there. Jeffrey Atkins, bloody hell. And if you figure out who was with Puff Daddy at the time, in 2001, was J-Lo ever with Puff Daddy, P. Diddy? It's hard to keep up. I'm sure it was big news at the time. All right, that's probably about it, I reckon. There's nothing else we really need to focus on. We're all having a good time here. We've learned about 808s. We've seen J-Lo. We've seen Ja Rule. We've talked about Ashanti. I'm very happy and surprised to see some live bass. That's a DI'd bass, probably a PJ or something. I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about. But it definitely sounds like, hi, my name is... What? My name is... I'm going to get another copyright strike. Do you like violence? Do you want to see me put 9-inch nails through each one of my eyelids? Yeah. All right, I think that's probably about enough. Thank you all very much for checking this one out too. There's a couple of interesting ones that I would really like to do in that pop realm as well. I think next one's going to be... I'd like to do the Christina Aguilera one next, just in a similar vein to this. That song is called... It's her first song. It's called Genie in a Bottle. And I was really interested. I had a quick look through it, and I was really interested to find out how kind of naff that song was, and it didn't really hold up. Cool song, but I mean, the sound effects were really quite cheesy. But we'll talk about that when we get into it. Thank you very much for coming to check this one out, and enjoy yourself. Don't forget, these people did this at some stage, so there's nothing stopping you from doing it either. Most things are pretty simple when you break them down. And what a great learning experience to pull these songs apart, see what they were made of, and realise that things can be fun and things can be easy. And just, if you're lucky, 23 years ago, you managed to have a few $1 million to kind of pull this stuff off. Now, you can just do it on your computer. It doesn't matter. Just give it a shot. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a fantastic evening.